Welcome back to World Drum Club, everybody. It is Tuesday Museday. I'm Kalani. Thanks for showing up. Let's say hello to, I think I saw Bill here early. Bill and Alex. Thanks for showing up early, you guys. Doug is here. Greetings. Osea? Is that how you say it? Cornelius is here. Welcome. And Charlie, and I said Doug. Welcome, you guys. Christina's here. And that ham pan lady. Oh, welcome back. It's been a minute. Nice to see you here. Hope you guys are enjoying the vibe. And did I say Rebecca? I just did. You guys, all right, yeah, Roseanne actually messaged me last night and said she had an engagement today. So she's not with us today, but in person, but in spirit, yes, of course. And we'll all think of her. Well, we just did. We're thinking of her right now. All right, welcome, you guys. Today's theme is authentic experiences. And I want to invite you guys to just connect with the music however you want. This is a Babatunde Olatunji tune. I'm going to say tune because it's not the song because I'm not singing the lyrics, but it's a cool vibe. He's got some recordings of it. I'll leave the info. Well, I'll put it on Patreon later or in the Facebook group. But this is a song that's about like kind of having authentic experiences and also here's the theme for today is acceptance and having friends and having relationships even though you may not see eye to eye. So this is timely, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the best way to have an authentic experience is to tune in to you and your feelings and whatever your feelings, whatever you're coming in through your sensations and your own senses, not your thoughts, your senses. So I would invite you to connect with what you're feeling, with what you're doing with your body and your breath and all of that. And that's one of the nice things about music because it kind of, that's where it happens. It happens in you and it happens in your body and with your breath, your ears, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. All right, not what you're thinking so much. All right, welcome everybody and welcome Giuseppe, is that right? Let's play a little more. people. Okay, so let me check on something here. Can I get to my... Let me get to my photos. All right, so this song is it's S-E, C-N-E-E-N-I, Fe, F-E, like iron. No, not like that. La Amo, L apostrophe A-M-O. So that sounds like French, doesn't it? But this was Babatunde, so C-N-E a fait l'amour. And then kere kere. So that's what I was saying. Kere kere. K-E-R-E. So if you want to look that up, look up Babatunde Olatunji, and this was on the Drums of Passion. And can I get back to, let me try to, okay. I think I got it. I'm trying to operate things on my phone here. So that is, that's a tune you guys want to look at, and he did this tune, Babatunde Olatunji. Now I don't know if it's completely. I think it is an original song by Babatunde Olatunji, and I think he said he took like a psalm, traditional African, like saying or psalm, and then he put that to music, and then Carlos Santana played on the original, and then Santana I think has covered it also with his band. So if you want to hear some classic, Bay Area ripping rock and roll, Afro beat guitar soloing, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's just a jam. I did my best to, sort of encapsulate the spirit of it, but go listen to the original. And it's on the Drums of Passion, The Beat, I believe, is the album. It's not the first album. It's not just Drums of Passion. It's the second album. And I don't have the date right in front of me, but you can look it up. Babatunde Olatunji. And I've covered a few of his songs here with the live looping. Let's go over real quick how I put the song together, just in case you guys are curious. Very simple chord, just A minor and E flat. I'm sorry, E flat. A minor and E7. So I just played back and forth between the very easy and out of tune A minor, and then E7. And I put a little crunchy on there, like it's a little out of tune, but that's okay. I tuned everything up before, but you know how it is. It was in tune when I bought it. Played a little bass, very little, A and E. And then I had a couple A minor flutes here. One is by my friend Brent Haynes, Wood Sounds Flutes. This is a Brazilian rosewood amazing flute, very beautiful. And then I also had a Northern Spirits flute by our friend, I'm going to space out his name right now, Richard Dubé, up in Canada, and he does these flutes. He makes these flutes and flute kits, which are very affordable and very in tune and awesome. We use this at our flute camps a lot of the time for reference flutes or group flute making, and these are the Northern Spirit flutes made of food-grade ABS plastic. So shout out to Richard for all of his work, and he does a lot of work in schools and with the community and helps people build their flutes and paint them and make artwork. So he's doing a lot of great stuff. So go to Wood Sounds Flutes for Brent Haynes and Northern Spirit Flutes for Richard's stuff. And then I had Bundled Sticks, one of my favorite sounds, and very fun. I also had a couple of the native tongue percussion items, you guys. Over here I have a wood block on the attachments. So I want to give them a shout out because I really like their stuff. So here I have, see if I can show you. Better, let's get a better view. So wood block here and the cowbell over here on the conga attachment. And that works really well. And it's super handy. So I'm just playing, you guys know. Some of you know, some of you don't know. So I'm just mentioning this stuff because they make great stuff. Native tongue percussion. You can look them up. And also want to give a shout out to my buddy Rich Manjicaro, who is their kind of artist relations person now and helps with their product development. But they're doing some cool stuff for us hand drummers, able to play. And what I like about it is it allows me to have the sounds that I would normally need a stick and a hand for, and I can just reach over here and have a cowbell right there. I don't have to pick up a stick or a cowbell. It's just right there. And they have other attachments too, like tambourine stuff and different kinds of sounds. So look into their stuff also. And then I have a couple instruments here. The bongos are back, you guys. I fixed the bongo head. Let me show you over here. So the reason this is a little, I know you might wonder, why is that like that? It's because it had the old logo on there, the old Tycoon logo, and I wanted to take it off. What I did, because I couldn't find a really great cha-cha head, the small head. So what I did is I had an old hembra, like the old larger head, and I put it on the cha-cha. I put it on the small side. So I took a regular large size bongo head for the large drum, and I just stuck it on the small drum, and it is thick. It's too thick, really, but I cranked it up, and I'll be honest, it's not ideal. It's actually thicker. This head, the small drum head, is now thicker than the large drum. But I'm cranking on it because I know it's not going to break, at least very easily. Like that last head I got was way too thin. It was like paper thin, and it just broke. So this one, I did this because I had the head, so I just recycled it. It was just kicking around my studio, and I thought, why not? I'll just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it actually, so far, is working. I just put it on a couple days ago, so it's still stretching a little. I'm going to keep cranking on it, and we'll see how it does. We'll see how long it lasts. But that's what that is. And these drums, these are the Tycoon bongos and a conga. And then I have over here, I think this is a drum skull drum. Drum skull drums djembe. And this has a calf head on, or cow head. So it's not a goat skin. It's got that really hard cow skin, which means you can crank on it, crank it down. The cow skin's a little thicker, and it's a little drier, but it's also more durable than the goat skin, so that's another reason I like it. And then what else did I have? I think that's about it. Yeah, I think we're all cut up. Oh, and cajon down here for the bass drum kind of thing. So just to lay a little, 4 on the floor sort of thing. And of course that was in a 6/8 rhythm. Yeah, kind of Afro-Cuban, whatever. That was a whatever groove. That was just me throwing a bunch of stuff together. If you go listen to the original, you'll hear it's a similar groove, 12/8 or 6/8, whatever you want to call it. And Cornelius is writing bongo, bongo, bongo. So yeah, I need my bongo guy shirt on again. Maybe I'll wear it next week. All right. So Bill, they call me Bongo Billy at my church. That's hilarious, but that's good. Bongo Billy, nice. Why not? As opposed to the Bongo Guy. I think that's an upgrade, Bongo Billy. Have you seen Bongo Billy? No, but I saw he was with Djembe Jerry just a minute ago. And Conga Carl. Does that? No, okay, never mind. All right, you guys, I'm going to jump into, you know what? Well, we'll see, because I actually didn't fully prepare for this segment, but I have to do it because it's part of the show. So here we go. Guess the sound! Okay, now listen. This will be kind of an instrument specific. Well, I'll just play it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give full points for the right name. This will be a brand name. So I guess if you've been watching the channel or watching my videos, you'll probably know this, but if you haven't, then you'll probably have the generic name, which is okay. But I want to hold out for, can you guys name this by brand? And here it is. And and I will accept either the actual instrument name or the company that makes it, all right? Either one. But I mean, go ahead and put what type of instrument you think that is. It is not a handpan, Alex. But, you know, similar sound, so not a bad guess, but it's actually made of a different material than a handpan. So what could that be? Put your guesses in the chat. And Bill is correct that it is a tongue drum. That's a kind of generic name. So, but like I said, so it is a tongue drum, but which tongue drum? I'm looking for, I don't know. I guess if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're not going to know because there's no way to know. You just have to know what I have here in my studio. But I'm just wondering if anybody does keep track of that stuff because I have talked about it many times in the past. So is it, I'm going to say Usea, xylophone. I mean, in a really basic, primitive way, yes, it is a xylophone because xylo is Greek, or xylo is the Greek word for wood, and a phone just means like an instrument, right? A thing like a vibraphone, xylophone, that kind of thing. So, but it's not technically a xylophone like we would know today, which would be more of a a chromatic barred instrument. So I'm going to say no, but not a bad name. Not technically, it is a xylophone, but but I guess in practice, not so much. It would be more of a tongue drum. So Handpan Lady says the woody tritone. It's actually not, but that's not a bad guess. The woody tritone is actually a steel tank drum or steel tongue drum with a wood resonation part, but the actual tines or the part you play is metal. So that's more like a steel handpan or steel tank drum than like a tongue drum because it's actually the metal that you hear, but the bottom part is wood, so there is wood on there. And Cornelius is asking for a playing demo. Yes. And I'm playing the whole instrument. All right, let me show you guys, and then if you think of the name, put it in. But I'm going to tell you pretty soon anyway, because we have to move on. But here's the instrument. Let me show you a close-up. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, and Cornelius, that is right. It is the rectangular box with the tines cut. So we can call these tines, which is basically just means like a stick or something vibrating. Like a Fender Rhodes uses tines, which is a metal, like, I don't know what to call it, a metal rod. And it vibrates, and it's really simple. Like the longer the rod, the lower the pitch. And in this instrument is similar. So these long ones are the lower ones. And then over here, like this is super short. It's way up there. And then the middle. Or middle length. But you can see how that works. And this one has 8 notes. All right, this is, so yeah, and actually Handpan Lady, marimba it's a similar sound to a marimba, right? So yeah. So this is like, it's just it's a tuned wooden instrument that you play with mallets. So it is similar to a marimba or xylophone, but because it's not really set up the same way, like a marimba would either be a diatonic, instrument with all the bars going across, or chromatic with the natural tones, like the white keys and the black keys, could be either. And there's marimbas with different scales and everything, but the typical marimba would be chromatic. And so it would have all 12 notes of the scale, and you'd play it with mallets, and you'd also have multiple octaves. So yeah, look up marimba after this, and xylophone, and tongue drum, just so you guys clarify like what are those things, you know, and what makes them similar and what makes them different. But this one is the Tingatong by Feel Tone. So that was the ultimate answer. I have a feeling if Roseanne was here, she would have known that because she has one, Tingatong. But they're also a friend of the channel, and you can get those at weplaywelltogether.com, and you can get hand pans, steel tongue drums, the wooden tongue drums, the Tingatongs, and a bunch of other stuff over there. So they're friends of the channel, so I'm going to mention them, weplaywelltogether.com. All right, you guys, look, we're going to turn the corner. This is going by super fast, probably because I played a lot at in the opening. But I want to start preparing for our Gimme 5, which is coming up. And Cornelius, I'm going to deputize you, and I'd like you to actually pick the Gimme 5 person today. So we'll do that in a few minutes, but Cornelius, if you're okay with that, I want you to pick the Gimme 5 person. And the Gimme 5 is where all of you can put like 5 instruments in your chat, you know, the chat box, and then I will create something from those 5 instruments. And today, obviously, I have what I have. We just went over everything that I played before, so you can use any of those things or anything I've kind of got close by. Like I do have some nice frame drums here. Shaman drums or buffalo drums. I've got these native style, you know, buffalo drums, shaman drums, which I did play last week. I've got a little rattle, which is nice. This kind of seashell rattle, which is nice. Got the bundled sticks, remember? So what you want to do is, you shall not let me down, Cornelius. I knew it. I knew I could count on you. What I recommend is that you pick 5 instruments that form a ensemble. So you want to think like a couple low things like low drum, like cajon or conga, you know, and then maybe a drum in the middle, like bongos or djembe, which would be on the higher side or middle high. And then, you know, a couple percussion sounds like a wood block or rattle or sticks or shaker or whatever. And then if you want, it can be all drumming. It can be all drums and percussion, or we can also add the flutes, or we could add ukulele. And then you can also add, if you want, like a tempo, you know, just slow, medium, or fast. And then even a meter, you know, like 4/4, 6/8, 3/4, something like that. Shuffle groove. I don't know. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever you can think of is fine. You don't have to add all that extra. You could just pick the 5 instruments. But again, I've got cajon. I always have the cajon right here. I'm sitting on it. And we have like a bass. That's like a little drum set sound, right? That's the cajon. It's got snares. And a nice, you know, bass sound. All right, so that's kind of what we have to work with. There's a couple things back here. I've got some other blue. You could say the blue shaker if you like that. And maracas, blue. Also, wow, it's like a theme today. I wonder why. We got a frog over here. The frog is nice. We can incorporate that. That's usually good on something kind of mellow. All right, so while you guys are thinking of that, and put your list of 5 things together, your wish list, and I'm gonna move on. We got a little bit of music mindfulness stuff today, and I did have a theme that I think is super appropriate. So I want to just spend a minute, and I'm gonna talk at you about a couple things. And I've mentioned this before, but one, it just came up. If you guys, hello Kenneth, welcome. One of the things that just came up this week, if you were paying attention at all on social media or maybe even the news, I don't know I was on vacation, so I didn't follow it too closely. But just at the Olympics, in the opening, right, there was a part of the Olympics opening, and people misconstrued it. They misconstrued something for something else. And then everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were losing their minds, and there's a lot of back and forth, and it was just like this whole kerfuffle, right? And I mentioned that exact thing a few weeks ago when I pointed out that this thing is not that thing. And the reason we think this thing, right, is that thing is because of the way our minds work as humans. I'm not going to get into all the details. You guys know this because you have a human mind, I'm assuming, if you're watching this. The basic idea is that humans, we're pattern-seeking creatures. We like to recognize things. Our brain automatically categorizes things, and it categorizes things that seem similar. This works for and against us, depending on the circumstance. But what happens is there's something, right, that happens, or with something we see or whatever. But let's call it the current event, right? There's a current event, and it reminds us of a past thing, right? It reminds us of something else. And this takes place in people with PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. There can be things that trigger a past trauma, right? So it could be that, or it could just be, oh, this person reminds me of that person, right? Or this, when somebody says this, I feel this way because, my dad or my mom or my brother or somebody, used to say that, and it was like traumatic for me, right? You guys get all that, right? So we need to be mindful that this thing that's happening now, even though it reminds us of something, it's not that, all right? They're different. It's not the same. And that goes for everything, you guys. It goes for every day of your life. Like today is not yesterday or the day before or the day before that. It's not the same. And when we think something is like something else, or we think something is the same as something else, what happens is, first of all, it's not true. So then we start operating on a false premise, all right? So that happens. But what else also happens is we don't pay attention to the thing in the now because we just check it off and we think it's, oh, I already know what that is, right? I already know what that is. This is like that, and I already know what that is, so I don't really need to pay attention to it. And we sort of don't. We don't really, we're not mindful. We're not in the present. And that's the problem. So just in music, that's why I love music making so much, because every moment of music making is a unique experience. And just because something reminds you of something else, and yes, is there plagiarism in music? Sure, like everything. But just because something reminds you of something doesn't mean that's it, right? And it doesn't even mean that it was a copy of the original thing. It just means that they're similar and they remind you, of each other. And that's okay. It's just that you don't want to take that and then act on it or get upset about things just because you're reminded of something, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about, is that this is not that, all right? That's the mindfulness part of this, is just to remember that, this person that reminds me of somebody who, I don't like, they're not them. So don't treat them like that, all right? You're going to do yourself a disservice if you do that, right? So that's what we want to be mindful of. I think, Rebecca said we make assumptions. Exactly. We make assumptions, and we fill in a lot of gaps. That we just fill in a lot of stuff that we don't know with stuff that we know, but we're also choosing to do that. And that's just not a healthy, it's not good. We can end up, just going down a road that we don't need to go down, and maybe pay a tax that we don't actually owe, when we do that. All right, so are we ready for, and that's the music mindfulness part. A good way to stay in the moment is just improvise music, play, but listen to what you're doing and be in the now. Don't think about what you're gonna do or what you did before. It's not important. And whatever you're doing, even though if it reminds you or somebody else is doing something, just because it reminds you of something else, not the same. When you go to work and drive to work, or you travel somewhere and you see the same things, they're not the same, right? The tree is different every day. That tree is different that you see, right? Everything's different. including every person. All right. So I want to ask, what do we got, Cornelius? We're going to move on to our final piece today, which is Gimme 5. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. And by the way, I believe, I'll try to find a link and put it in the description. I believe that every Tuesday Museday, you guys, is, I think, through the Patreon site, patreon.com/Kalani, I think they automatically get turned into podcasts. So if you wanted to listen to this as, you know, just as a podcast, I believe they are automatically turned into podcasts, and then they're on Spotify, I think. I need to verify that. So I'll try to do that before next week. But I'm pretty sure that's part of what is offered at Patreon. And before we start the Gimme 5, are we doing that? Is that a decision, Cornelius? It looks like it's a question. So let me know. You got to pick. And go over there and check out the courses and everything. And then if you feel like it, connect with us and be a supporter. Some of you are, and I appreciate that. You can support this show and all the videos we put on all the channels. And do that at patreon.com/Kalani. All right. Hand drum, congas, blue shaker, flute, maracas. Is that right? So are we going with Usea? Okay. Usea. All right, cool. When you said hand drum, I want to clarify. Which drum is the hand drum? You want the frame drum back here, or do you want, we have djembe, congas, bongos. I know I see congas, but which one is the hand drum? Is that, do you mean this? Like we'll call it the buffalo drum? So let me know, or if it's not that, is it a different drum? And then we're gonna do blue shaker and flute and maracas, is that right? So shaker and maracas, is that right? Maybe just Cornelius, give me the final rundown so I can see everything in one place, and then we'll get going. And I'm gonna change the whole setup here. And I think what I'll do is I'm gonna leave the buffalo drum. All right. I'm gonna leave it set to 6/8, but I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. So here we go. We got a few minutes left, and this is for you, dedicated to you, Osea. If you want to dedicate it, you could donate too. But if you want to dedicate it to anyone, just put their name in the chat. And I want to thank you guys for showing up today. All right, you guys. This is Tuesday Music. I'm Kalani. Thanks, you guys, for showing up. Thanks, Osea, and everyone else for showing up. Appreciate you. Have a great week, and weeks, and months, and years. And remember, this is not that. All right. Keep that in mind. Go play some music for yourself and for other people. That's what it's for. I'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Drum Club.